This second poem is actually one that I wrote upon the death of my friend Liz, and she died in 2005. And it's a poem that somehow, in the first 48 hours after her death, I just was really able to write. I don't know, I just felt really compelled to write, and it felt like it was just kind of issuing from me, and it made me feel at peace. The story of Liz is partly a story of my own life as well, parallel tracks, parallel lines. And so her passing, her choice to die was a difficult decision, I'm sure, for her, but it was also really difficult for those of us who loved her. So I'm going to read the poem that I actually read in the eulogy, as part of the eulogy, final farewell section. It's called, of course, Poem to Liz. Liz, you're gone now, but I'm still looking for you in the faces of the people gathered here, the music you listened to, the dark velvet scraps you sewed into squares to make quilts to keep you warm, or sent to a friend as a reminder of where you'd both been, patches cribbed together like snatches of old conversations. You're in the gaps in my speech, the silence when I pause to think. Even when I open my mouth to speak, every phrase I use reminds me of you, your intoxicating laugh, the humour, the tragedy, the mundane things in both our lives, the silly stories, trivial and profound, we relate over beers, wine and trashy magazines. The food we'd make together, spicy, tangy, quick as irony. Coffee in the kitchen in the morning, strong and aromatic as cardamom, life-giving. You're ingenious, innocent, resilient, with a will like an athlete's, eyeing her obstacle course, not to be daunted. Remember going to blockades to save Gulunguk Forest? Remember arming the food van on the waterfront in Port Melbourne to feed striking dock workers? We did so much in those years. Demos, punk gigs, mad discos. Living in squats. Living by any means necessary. Living outside the lines. Making posters, zines, and how-to books. All in the name of survival. Liz, you saw so much, and you cared. You're one of the best mates I've ever had. And there were so many parts to you. Wayno, the derelict clown. Liz, the grubby angel. The cheeky rat bag. The funny tomboy. Practical, resourceful. Our lives took parallel lines. You moved out of Melbourne and I went to Perth, the place I was born. You trekked through Spain. I went through Mexico, finding my way, another kind of home. You wrote me hilarious letters. Back in Oz again, we dreamed each other's dreams. To study at uni. To write and speak in that language, Spanish. Liz, your name could be Luz, spelt the same way except for one letter, you instead of I. It means light in Spanish. Your presence never cast a shadow. It shined. It still shines. Liz, Luz, now the you and I are combined, inseparable. You're gone now, but like the light, even on this night, I know you are just around the bend, greeting me in the morning with a cigarette in hand. And your I, well, what is the difference? You're a part of me, that you and I that forms us, we, and never dies.